6:30, whatever it is, 9, 8. A roll call, please.
Bruce Cheney,
Here.
Sarah Jenna,
Here.
Mike Foot,
Here.
Mark Haynes,
Here.
and Peter Burnett.
Peter Burnett. And we have staff here, acceptance of minutes. Any objection to them becoming part of the record? Any
I'll
changes?
I'll move that.
Motion to accept minutes?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Okay. Review of rankings. What do we got, Rob?
So we scored everything, and everything has been ranked out according to its score. If the board so chooses to modify the placement of any of these items, we could change the numbering.
I noticed a couple of things. I'm really pleased that Parks and Rec got so close to the top, get up to the top. So often they get pushed down. I don't know if any of you have been to Bond Beach, but that is serious. I mean, we're losing that beach to erosion. The Weirs renovations and improvements, that's an infrastructure item that we can't let deteriorate. It's a huge draw. It does generate a lot of income. We have another one, we have a renovation at Endicott Park. We have the rebuild of the north end of the boardwalk. So that's, 3 Weirs items in the top 10?
I would point
No,
out,
top 20.
I would point out also, even above replacing the bridge over Langley Brook, which is an important thoroughfare in our community, looking forward, and I'm pleased to see it score high, is replacing the bridge over the cove on Hilliard Road.
Yeah,
To put that out to 2035, it's really just putting off something, kicking it down the road further than
Where
actually
is it?
thinking. It actually came out, 6,
right?
right? So at least there's some feeling on there, which is something different than kicking that out to 2035. And as we look at, in planning, and look at developing our community and access in and out of the Weirs,
Right.
I'm always a fan of Hilliard Road, so I'm glad to see that the bridge is there, and hopefully we can encourage an upgrade there to at least allow emergency access in and out. And a decent thoroughfare. I actually used to drive it as a kid, so I know it's not that old. Har har.
R.
And I just want to comment on seeing that there.
So does anybody have anything that they suggest we should move? I mean, this is the result of basically mathematics, the combined final score.
I have a couple of items, if I might.
Sure.
I'd like, I see number 25, which is the fire department's breathing apparatus. It may sound silly, but I'd like to see it pushed up a little higher. As much as I want to see the police department gets vehicles, the idea that we would put cars ahead of breathing apparatus bothers me a bit. I also was hoping to see item number 41 moved up. I suspect we've had some talks in the council about buying it for all the departments.
Yes.
So that may be unnecessary at this point, but it was one of the ones I had some concerns about. The item 87, I'd sincerely like to see pushed up substantially higher. I talked about it the night of the presentation, I'd like to speak again to the idea that
37?
87,
Oh, 87,
the dictation software.
right.
I recognize the time savings that you mentioned in that, and I have no problem with that moving up.
I just, visibility is critical in my mind for law enforcement, and all the time they spend writing out reports,
Gets them off the
gets
street.
them off the street.
Yeah, I get you.
So I'd like to see it pushed up somewhere a lot closer to the top. And in the same vein, we had there was, and that was the dictation system, 87. And I already mentioned the dispatch system. And then item number 119, the replacement forestry truck. I thought they made a good argument for replacing that and using it to eliminate driving the other trucks as much. These are cheaper to replace, and it would seem to me short money to replace that that utility vehicle and save some money on the bigger equipment.
So Bruce, moving these items up, how does that increase the likelihood that they'll be funded this year, this budget?
I think it increases the likelihood that Mark and I can argue for them. Whether that, whether there are gonna be other priorities that come along, but I'd like to push these close enough to the top. So, look, when you get below 50 or so,
Nothing gonna happen.
nothing's gonna happen.
I
Well,
have-
I shouldn't say nothing, but it's gonna be much harder to take care of things below 50 or 75 arbitrarily.
That's what I was gonna ask, yeah, because with my recollection, I didn't pay attention actually last time, I'm sorry, but the last time I paid attention, it seemed like there was a group that pretty much there was a consensus about, and then people cherry-picked.
Yep,
Like, they had a pet project, or they had a constituency.
that's gonna be,
Well, that's fine, that's the way that's supposed to work, you guys are the legislative body. You have to be responsive to that.
my only argument is if you move it up the list, it makes it easier for me, and I hope for Mark,
Yeah.
to champion it and say, the committee listened and thinks it's important to see it taken care of sooner rather than later.
I certainly agree with the scuba, the breathing apparatus moving up. I mean, that's a life safety issue.
I think one of the things we're skipping over is that during the police presentation that I was very concerned about, and it doesn't show up as police, but that security fence,
Yes,
What security?
which is,
That was
which is,
Parks and
which
Rec.
is 106.
yep.
I've gone by there a couple of times, and that's a dangerous situation, because that's wide open. I mean, off from,
What fence, where is this?
the police station. So where the police department parks.
Oh,
In the
okay.
back,
Right,
I mean, it's wide open, anybody can drive in there,
right.
and their personal.
Oh, you
vehicle-
can drive in there from Pittman's, can't you?
Right, and so
Right
they're
across
looking to secure it and reduce access to it for the security of the officers'
officers.
vehicles and,
Okay. I see a theme developing here. Law enforcement's getting pushed up.
fire.
Go figure, right?
Listen, how would you think I would?
No, I know. No.
No, but I think they made an argument,
I do too.
because, people have a short memory, that's where that, suicide, that suicide happened. The guy just drove in the parking lot,
Yeah.
got out, and just decided that he didn't wanna breathe anymore.
That's a terrible thing. Of course, he could have done that with security. I mean, are they talking about a gated access?
Yes.
Yes.
Parking lot, yard?
Yes.
$100,000 worth of fence and no security, no lights or anything on it, just activated
Well, would it be key card or some sort of sensor
Yeah.
gate, sliding gate? Okay,
And that was fairly high on Parks and Rec's list,
Yeah, but it,
because that's who,
that'd be maintaining, installing and maintaining
Right.
it, yeah. All right,
Another one
anything else?
Concerned about too, the city documentation system for DPW.
What's the number?
I'm saying, that is 63.
Okay,
He was saying if there's a fire or anything like that, they're in
Or
a lot
pipe
of trouble.
breaks.
Or pipe breaks, yep.
oh, yeah,
So
right.
we should probably do something with that.
Where did they come out on their, building? DPW? Weren't they talking about either major improvements or replacement of the building they're in?
well, I think that's,
The pole barn is at 102.
It was 149 is where it ranked.
And the pole barn is for equipment storage, is that what that's gonna be?
well, what that is, Peter, is they, that holds the sanders. so
Right,
that they-
right, it's just a pavilion roof, basically, with posts. Yeah. Well, obviously, if we move stuff up, other things are gonna get moved down.
Yep.
So why don't we, decide which ones we wanna move up the most?
And how far up do you move them?
That's exactly what I'm getting at. I would say, you're saying the cutoff is around 50. So,
don't take that as gospel.
well,
I'm
no,
just-
but I'm saying that gives us an idea.
Yeah.
So let's look at the ones that are below 50 and see which ones we sure merit being moved up above 50. So like the forestry truck would go way, way up if it was gonna be in the top 50. The dictation software, not so much. That would go up 37. The documentation that Sarah talked about, number 63, would only go up 13, and so on.
Again, I know we talked about it, and Bruce, you mentioned it. You know, we've got this, the water department things in here, and they're gonna do it anyways, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are enterprise funds, but,
I mean, they pay for themselves, so, I mean,
but that's why, I mean, I'm sure you're taking that into consideration when you say the top 50. So here's my idea. There were three that Bruce talked about moving up that were within the top 50, number 24, 33, and 41. They're already in the top 50. Why don't we just move the others up into the top 50? And then that way, all the ones that we kind of targeted get boosted up.
And if you push all of the waterworks
Right down.
stuff down, I mean,
We may
I'd
have
put,
room.
yeah, you
I-
got
I
plenty.
don't even
Water-
know why we are asked to rank,
I don't either, and what I would suggest to you is that at the end of this list, a space, and then just list the waterworks projects, separate from all the rest of them.
But don't they should benefit from our ranking of their projects, though. I mean, they have enterprise funds, but part of the advantage to that department is to know what our committee thought, their top priorities
But you
were.
could do that if you separated them from everything else.
Oh, I knew, in other words,
And
leave them
then
in the
say-
same order and just put them at the end as a separate list.
Right.
But the same holds true with public works and the sewer department.
Okay, but see, that gives us
That's
room
an
to move
enterprise
some other
too.
stuff up,
Well,
right?
that was my
Yeah.
point.
So let's count the water ones in the top 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, say, 15 is 50. So they have 15 in the top 50 alone. So that is plenty of room to move other things up if we
Yep.
take water down. That's a good idea, I think. Then we can get all our projects up. I wanna see the skate park move up, but it's already in the top 50, so I thought it did pretty well.
And I really, once again, thinking of planning and developing our area, especially as we're spending so much time struggling with the WOW Trail, you know, a little bit, of improvement on the Weirs Boulevard could, certainly give us better access between
Which one is
the
that?
Weirs. It's, come on, I know it's,
I saw it somewhere. It says Boulevard, right?
yep,
Are you
Wait.
talking
bike
55,
lanes, yeah, so
55
55, yeah.
Bank Lane?
So that would go,
lanes
that
in
would
sight.
move up within, you know, the taking out of
It's
the
a good one to
water.
move up.
You know what I mean? Just, cause we gotta do something, this,
Well,
everything I go to is all about, talks about, interconnectivity and moving around and this and that. And there's no way
Well,
anybody wants to ride a bike.
you
down
wanna,
the
you wanna
boulevard.
do some really easy research, economic research? Park yourself on the overpass at exit 20 and watch all the cars with the bicycles go up, go
Yeah.
north. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
every third car has at least 2 bikes on it. Where are they going, you know? They're going to Colebrook?
Right.
All right. What was the Blackbrook PS upgrade, number 70? I don't remember that. What is PS? Blackbrook is the brook that comes out by
Is that
McDonald's, behind
water?
McDonald's, right?
No, yes,
Yes.
yes,
Public sewer. PS is public sewer.
Yep.
So is that a pumping station they're talking about?
yes, there's a pumping station there. Right at the south
So
side
they
of the
wanna-
McDonald's
Oh, that's right, you're
parking
absolutely
lot.
right. There's a little house and there's a
Yeah.
pumping station.
So could be looking at upgrades there.
I didn't know if it was environmental or if it was, so they probably just wanna replace the pump. Okay, so why don't we do that then? Let's look at the list. And I hope you guys are following us. It looks like we're going to move up 119, 106, the security fence. And I'm probably missing one or two. 87. 63.
Yep.
55. And that's it, really, because everything else is already above 50. And if you take water out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, there's plenty of room. Plenty of room.
Is it really the first 50 or is it the first 12 that gets looked at? I thought it was the first 12. If you're telling me the
hard
first
to say.
50.
Because the year before, when there was, we ended up doing Memorial Park.
Yep.
The irrigation system, because there was 25,000 left to do it, and it fit,
Yep.
and,
This starts with the manager's budget, right?
yes.
Okay. So he's probably gonna rely heavily on this document.
I think you're right too with switching the breathing apparatus around with the police vehicles.
So, I just wanna clarify, the board wants the enterprise funds separated from the other list.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
They can stay in the same ranked order, right?
So
But
they're gonna be, so the enterprise funds will be separate from the normal ones, so those will be ranked separately down below, and then the
yes.
non-enterprise funds will be ranked separately. Okay.
But what I'm saying is they're already in order
Yeah.
on this list. Just take them all in the same order. So like their number 1 would be our number 5. Their number 2 would be our number 10. Their number 3 would be our 15, and so on. I could do this on Excel in about 30 seconds.
Well, that's what I'm doing right now. It's much easier just to do it in Excel right now than to,
Oh, I know, yeah.
uh,
And that will immediately reorder the first 50,
yes, and that way we'll have our,
and then we can put these other ones in so that they're, and a 50 is arbitrary, that's true, I mean, but it, you know, if it's on the first page,
Yo!
That's a good thing. Bring it up to the first page. Don't you agree, Sarah? Don't you agree?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Are you feeling better?
I am much better, thank God.
I'm glad.
Yes, I only have 2 weeks of therapy left, so
Oh, man.
broke my brain.
You broke your brain just in time for the election.
Yep. Perfect timing.
You had signs. Did you have signs?
I too.
You
The
had
rest
two?
were in my trunk because I was on bed rest for a week and a half. So
Should have called me. I would have done some signs for you.
yeah, I know.
Did you get any, did you even try to get any donations or anything? Well, you did pretty good for, like, not doing much.
I did 0 campaigning.
Yeah, no full-page ads.
No.
No.
Oh, they like it
expensive,
when,
you
they
know.
like it when you go out and
Oh,
talk
no.
to
Oh,
them.
I used to like the little banners,
Yeah,
the
well, I
little
was gonna go
boxes
out
on the
and then I-
bottom of page one.
Down now. So
I know they're,
That's unfortunate, otherwise I was hoping you'd do better.
I had a concussion.
That's
I
not
was on
good.
bed rest for a week and a half. It was
That'll knock you for a loop.
yeah, it was bad. Self-inflicted.
yep,
Most of my
You're gonna do
injuries
something to it
usually are.
yourself. you know?
right.
Right. You know, if I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it right. Bad the first time.
Well, I'm glad I didn't ask you for a sign, so you wouldn't have to say, yeah, any.
I will not
They're
ride a
not cheap
hoverboard
either.
again.
Ride a hoverboard?
That's how
I
I got my
know.
concussion.
Been
You
there,
go
done that.
shooting out like
It
that?
went flying, my feet went up and I landed on my head.
Because I was smart, I saved the ones from.
Snowboards will do
I
that.
still
Yeah,
have
I'm
a
not
couple
doing
of
that
my
either.
cardboard.
I don't know if I'll ever use
Well,
them
my
again,
daughters
but
make it look so
I
easy.
have
Oh,
some
yeah.
cardboard ones from the first
not.
time I ran for state rep that Bernie Colangelli did.
I was fine the first night and the second day I was
Said,
okay.
the
It
motto
the
was, let's
third
give
day
a
it
pony
was-
a
Started to
chance for
swell.
a change.
It was bad.
Oh,
I
that's
don't think there's
bad.
any way of fixing that.
I'm sorry.
so just can't-
And then I had a campaign T-shirt that said, "Send this man to Concord where he belongs."
that's funny.
I thought that was a good one. That was an iron-on, mind you. I didn't know, but I wore it out campaigning, and people thought that was pretty funny. Well, it said in the front, it said Peter Burnett, state rep,
Okay,
and
so
on the back it said,
55
"Send this man to Concord where he belongs."
Order, I think it's-
Good stuff.
Growing up, that was shorthand for the state hospital.
Oh.
So
Okay.
that's what that was.
Got it.
Let's move into where?
Send this man to Concord. He's got sent down to Concord last week, you know. Jesus Christ.
That one. Where's that one? There we go. Okay,
And
next
then
one.
63.
All the zombies on South State Street.
Oh my God, yeah.
87.
I was at the prison today. One of our social workers wanted to go
106.
to a guy's parole hearing, one of the fathers in our cases, who had done a remarkable job keeping in touch with his
And
children and doing what he can while he's in prison. So he had his first parole hearing, and his mother asked the social worker if she would go. And the social workers can't go to things like that without the attorney, so I wasted 2.5, 3 hours just sitting around. You know, when the whole thing was done, he was denied, and then we addressed the board, and they said, "Well, you should have spoke up." I said, "Look, I may be an attorney, but I never done a parole hearing before. I had no idea that we were even able to speak. No one even acknowledged our presence when we came in and said,
Yeah, beauty.
and he's sitting there in
So where do we
shackles,
always-
you know.
You only really need to move
They
up.
don't even unhitch him for the hearing.
Unless they want to bump those up higher.
So, after I resorted the data,
Yeah,
bike lanes is number 34, which was one that you wanted to move up.
yep,
DPW city documentation system has moved up to number 38. Well, I'm sorry, 37, so I should need to count that in.
yep,
And the police dictation software has moved up to 49.
awesome.
The security fence is 62, and the forestry truck is 72. So there's 2 now that are below your goal of the 50,
Yeah, but we moved them up.
but they have been moved up and they've been separated out of the enterprise fund items.
I was surprised that sidewalk repair construction was in, but if I remember correctly, that was in a whole heck of a lot that they were gonna do, right? Did they have some targeted sidewalk? That's number 21 on the old list anyway.
Yep.
So that would be number 16 on this new list.
Which is usually up there with maintain and repair city streets.
It should be.
And you always get, I look at, some of the stuff that we saw a few years ago down in Tilton where, someone successfully sued the, town for not maintaining the, sidewalk over the, highway so they could go shopping in their electric chair, and they prevailed.
Right.
And so, that sidewalk care is important, especially, once again, if we talk about.
I have to call them every year and remind them to plow Park Street.
They went all year last year without doing the, bridge in the Weirs, and there's a post office on the other side. And people do walk from the Weirs to the post
I
office,
know.
they take their dog or whatever, it's a reasonable walk.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of streets, the sidewalks end up snowbanks, and that's not good either.
Because they end up walking down the middle of the road in the slush, and they're slipping and sliding, and the cars are dark, and
Right. All right, so it looks like we've reordered things. Are there any other suggestions from the committee?
I'll behave.
Dave? I already got mine in the top 5. I was just so tickled to see that Bond Beach and the bathhouse at the Weirs got so high, especially Bond Beach. Oh my God. They had a plan for Bond Beach years ago that was really cool. They were going to tear down the existing bathhouse and build a new one right about at the front line of where the parking area is now, but a 2-level, kind of like the one at Opeechee. And the lower level would have like an area where people could come in the winter and warm up, and then upstairs would be bathhouses, so that they could use that as a skating and sledding area. And because that's not used in the winter,
Yeah, it's
you know,
unfortunate.
and it's a beautiful property.
you can ski around there, there's trails.
There's a trail actually from the school all the way down to the Bond Beach. It's not well marked or maintained, but I'd like to see a nature walk in there. That'd be cool. You could even have a little boardwalk. There's a wetland up there. You could go.
There,
Probably stay away from the wetland now that I think of it.
Bonds Beach,
Lakeport. It's at
north of Apeche.
It is the North Cove of Apeche. Yes.
So from Washington Street, you should be able to pedal all the way to it, almost.
Yes.
Then they were talking about, well, I've heard conversation about that, and there's a piece of property in there that's owned by Sunrise LLC or something like that, that they need to negotiate with to do,
To develop.
to continue the trail through,
Oh.
to, I think that's.
Well,
what
the
it is.
parcel, as I understand it, is contiguous. It's the Elm Street School, from Elm Street all the way down to the lake. And the access road is off Bell Street. And it kind of goes down and it takes a sharp left. So it's a couple of, actually.
And you need
sharp
to know
turns.
it's there.
Oh, God.
That's
yeah.
part of the
Interesting.
problem.
Well, another improvement they need to do is they need to put streetlights in there, because, you know, the park is open pretty late.
Yep.
And if anybody's coming out, well, if they were gonna use it in the winter, they definitely need streetlights.
Yep.
Because there's the people walk right in the road.
Yep.
All right, are there any other suggestions? Rob, is there anything else we need to do?
If the board is happy with their decision,
Then we just need a motion to,
motion to pass it forward to planning board,
okay.
recommend it to planning board.
And
So-
will you provide us with an updated copy?
Yes, I can email this out tomorrow morning.
Perfect, good,
Yep.
perfect, great. Did I understand you to say you wanted these back?
It doesn't matter, you can keep them if you want to.
Well, it's not that, if you want it back, I'll,
I got them at the highest,
Has money in it.
of the highest quality that the city was, I was willing to put out of my budget for it.
Yeah, good for you.
It was $1.29,
So you went to the 5 and 10 and not the dollar store.
so,
All right, so the chair would entertain a motion to recommend the amended list to the full planning board for consideration at its December 3rd meeting.
So motion?
Second?
Motion moved in second. Any discussion? Sensing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstained? We're good. Anything else we need to do, Mr. Mora?
That is all, sir.
You sure? Does this committee now adjourn until next year?
This committee adjourns till next year, though obviously.
Is there a presentation to planning, or does our esteemed leader?
So,
Absorb
Peter
that.
will get the,
Any one of you that wants to come can do it, honestly.
but, I can present this to planning board, it doesn't matter, it's absolutely fine. So it'll be presented on the December.
Your
3rd.
leader who missed the public hearing by like 10 minutes.
Can you just zip us a note a day or two before the meeting so we know?
I sure can, absolutely, that's no
If
problem.
I have time, I'd like to come.
The more the merrier, I love planning board meetings. I do.
Good.
Yeah, they're so fun.
We have fun.
I may have to,
we
I
really
may
zipped-
have to walk
We
on the
really
wild
zipped through
side
the
and try
second half of that
something
agenda
different.
last night.
Yes, we did. Well, we'll have more fun when I put the mini fridge in with some drink.
I like the way this girl thinks.
That's gonna be.
All right.
there.
Need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'm liking the way you
All
think.
those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? We are adjourned until next year. Thank
Oh
you.
my God.
Thank